Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the top 10 things we think you should do on board the Carnival Celebration. Let's go. Hey everyone, Johnny from Byte Size Cruises. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for coming to check us out. We are a travel agency just trying to give you the best information about cruising so that you can plan to go on an amazing cruise vacation. Today, we are going to give you the top 10 things we think that you must do on board of the Carnival Celebration. Recently got off of the Carnival Celebration out of Miami, went down there to the Bahamas, did a little Caribbean jumping around, and these are the things that really stood out to us. So first up on our list is the Bolt roller coaster. That's right, there is a roller coaster on the top of a cruise ship. Now look, it's not a crazy wild 100-mile-an-hour roller coaster, but it does go really fast. It does do some spinny little loops, which is really fun. And we really think that you'll enjoy this. It is an additional cost. Try to keep those things to a minimum here on the must-do list, but it's only 15 bucks. You could do it once if you want to do it. I would say the best time to do it is on a port day, so it's a little less crowded. Plus you get the amazing view of whatever port you're on, and it's probably a little less scary than doing it while the ship is moving, in my opinion. So there you go. Number one is the Bolt roller coaster all the way up there on the top deck. Number two, go check out a show at Celebration Central. One of my favorite things of this Excel class of Carnival ships is that right in the middle of the ship, they have this little area on deck 6, 7, and 8 called the Celebration Central on this ship. And it's basically a theatrical venue where they do bingo, they have little interactive shows, they do a Build-A-Bear workshop at some point during your cruise. They do all the little fun games there, and then they put on some production shows. This really shines in production shows where they can do some cooler things than you would be able to do in a theater, like aerial stuff. So I highly recommend going to check it out. There were two shows in particular, Celestial Strings, which I thought was great, and the Most Magnificent Circus. Both of those have a whole bunch of things going on. There's a whole bunch of props around, people are moving around a lot, and you could see all the different areas from different locations on the ship, which I think gives it a really cool element. So go check that out on deck 6, 7, or 8. Keep in mind on deck 6, you have a really great seating arrangement, but you may not, if you're back far, you may not be able to look up at certain things. Deck 7, probably the best seating for seeing everything. And then on deck 8, there are no seats, but you could stand along the railway in the hallways there, and you get a really good bird's eye view of everything going on. Next up, number 3, I know not everyone is an early morning person, so I'm going to phrase this in two different ways. One, if you get up really early, go up to the Serenity deck. You can grab some coffee down at Java Blue on 6, jump in that elevator, take it up to 18, head out to the Serenity deck, and go enjoy just a beautiful, peaceful, quiet sunrise out there on the Serenity deck. If you're not a morning person, you could check out the sunset up there on the Serenity deck. It is nice and quiet. There is no big party atmosphere back there. It's adults only, and I find it to be a delightful part of the ship. If you need a little recharge or you're just trying to get away from all the hustle and the bustle of the wild and crazy things that are going on board the ship. Next up, let's talk about the family Feud. So a lot of the new cruise ships are coming out, and they have multi-dimensional entertainment things going on board the ship. A lot of the cruise lines have moved away from Broadway type shows like Norwegian Cruise Line, and they're moving more towards game shows like Wheel of Fortune, Press Your Luck, all of these different shows. Now, Carnival, I think, still does a really good job with production shows and singers and dancers and things like that. However, they have added the element of Family Feud. The difference for me here is Family Feud's not a cash grab for Carnival like it is on Norwegian with Wheel of Fortune. If you go into the theater for Wheel of Fortune, you can certainly just sit there and watch, but you can also gamble and play along with the Wheel of Fortune, which I think to me is just a little more nickel and diming. On Carnival, the Family Feud is just a ton of fun. So there are different iterations of the Family Feud. You can go see the family version, or you could see the kind of adults only version. Both of them are an absolute train wreck and great people watching and hilarious. You get a bunch of people together, family, friends that have had a few drinks. They're trying to play the Family Feud. It gets super awkward and fun. So go check that out. One of my favorite things to do on board the ship. Next up, number 5, go to Guy's Burger. Go every day for lunch if you want. Go for lunch and dinner. Do whatever you have to do. Guy's Burger is a standout on board of all of the Carnival cruise ships that have it. In my opinion, probably the 1 or 2 best bites on the cruise ship. It is included in your cruise fare. It does get a little crowded at lunch, but if you time it well, you can get up there and the line moves really, really fast. So go check out Guy's Burger. Next up, go to a Sailaway party. Look, you've seen all the videos on TikTok, on YouTube, all over the place of how wild and crazy the Sailaway parties are on Carnival Cruise Line. It's all true. They are. I've been on a lot of different cruise lines, Norwegian, MSC, Carnival, you name it, Celebrity, all of the different cruise lines. By far, if you go on most of the other cruise lines, there are like 100, 200 people up there for the Sailaway party. On Carnival, it's 5,000. You have everybody up there on the pool deck. You have singing, you have dancing, you have all the fun things going on. It is the best people watching you will ever see on a cruise ship. Go up, check out the Sailaway party. You will not be disappointed. Next up, let's talk about number 7, which in my opinion is Chibang. So Chibang is a restaurant. It is located on deck 8. I think it's really, really, really good. It is Mexican-Asian fusion, which is a really interesting combination. And they do just little appetizers from each of those regions. You can go there once at no cost. If you do go back again, it's $8 per person, which I still think is a steal. But go check it out. They have a ton of great food there. The staff is great. All the food is amazing. Go check out Chibang. Next up, let's talk about number 8, which is take a cooking class at Carnival Kitchen. This one, again, is going to cost you a little bit of money. It's like somewhere between 30 and 60 bucks per person, depending on which class you take. You can do a cupcake class, ice cream class, sushi, tailgate. We did the Latin incident. I've also done the Indian cooking class. These are so much fun. You learn a ton. They give you the recipes. You actually get to cook the food and try it while you're cooking. And then when you're done, you sit down and you have a great meal, family style, where they cook the same dishes for you. So you can compare and contrast. You can really check out all the different elements of what you're cooking, and you get a great idea of what it's going to be like when you go home and you try to cook it on your own. We made empanadas. We made chicken tortilla soup. We made ceviche, a whole bunch of things. It was a ton of fun, and you get a little red spatula to take home with you as a souvenir. Next up, number 9, sneak down to Guy's Pig and Anchor for breakfast. There's a little buffet there. It is very quiet. It's not as nuts as the standard buffet when you go up, and I find it to be charming. You could grab your food, sit right outside, and enjoy the breakfast in the morning air out there, and will be much quieter than anything else going on the ship. Last but not least, my recommendation is a little bit off the beaten path. Usually I wouldn't recommend something like this for everyone, but my last one is to go to the Veterans Celebration on board the ship. I found this to be really cool. I went there just to get a little bit of video to check it out. I've done the Veterans Celebration. Generally on some of the other cruise lines like Royal, they'll do a little parade on the promenade for the veterans, which I think is great. And on some of the other cruise lines, they just do like a moment of silence, or they'll sing the national anthem or something like that on board of the ship. Carnival does this really, really, really nice celebration in the theater. So basically what they do is they will stop and acknowledge each of the armed forces, even including Space Force. They will ask anybody who has served to stand up. They will obviously cheer for them, acknowledge them. They'll talk to them about their service. They'll open it up for a little kind of communique where you can kind of give a message of maybe something that you learned while you were serving, or something you think is important for maybe younger or older people to know about military service. They play all of the fight songs for each of the military groups. It's really fun. I found it to be really nice. At the end, they have a cake for the veterans that served, and the veterans' names go into a little contest for them to win a cruise. They also have a little table that's set up on the stage for veterans that have fallen, so it's like adding them to the celebration. Thought it was really nice. It was very, very tastefully done, and I really enjoyed it, and I think it was, for us, one of the highlights of the cruise that I really liked. There you are. There are 10 things that we think you must do on board of the Carnival Celebration. We would love to hear from you. What are some things that you think are standouts on board of the Celebration if you've been on there? If you need any information about it, please comment below and let us know. We would love to have you subscribe and come along and join us on this fun cruise journey. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow, and happy cruising. Bye.